Good morning. Brad Kluver here. We'll wait a couple minutes here and see if anyone else is going to join us this morning. So I'll hang out here for a couple minutes and we'll get started right at 10 o'clock. All right. I guess we can probably get rolling here. So like I said, Brad Kluver, swine livestock production specialist here at Central Farm Service. Going to be talking a little bit about swine nutrition again today. I wanted to focus on weight gain and feed conversion. As we've seen, weights on market hogs have come down a little bit over the last month to 2 months. We've been able to more readily market them, maybe not at the prices we like, but we can at least get the pigs to market. So as we're still in summer here, we're likely through much of the heat, but there's still going to be, I'm sure we'll still have a few days that pop up here and there. Just looking on the environmental side of trying to boost weight gain and average daily gain and feed conversion. Just going through your barn, making sure there's ample feeder space, ample water availability, and fresh water at that. Keep the barn as comfortable of a temperature as you can. Sprinklers can be useful. I know there's mixed opinions on that, but in the right format where you allow that water to cool off of or to evaporate off of the pig, that's where you're going to see the biggest benefit. So making sure they turn on and off if they're on an automatic system can help reduce that temperature, keep the pigs more comfortable, keep them gaining. But looking today, we're going to look more on a nutritional level. The first and foremost, looking at fat or choice white grease. This can be, with all of these nutritional pieces, can be a little bit variable looking at whether you're on a fixed time scenario, you have a set schedule when pigs come in, come out, so you're trying to get as much gain on them as you can in that window, or if you're more on a fixed weight setup where you're buying open market pigs or you have ample time in the barn, all of those are going to factor into whether these make sense or not. So looking at fat right now, typically we're adding somewhere between 20 and 60 pounds of fat, a lot of times right in that 40-pound mark. When you start going above that, you start to have some flowability issues. With the current prices on corn, soybean meal, distillers, and fat, and looking at market prices right now that are in the mid-50s, it really isn't that advantageous to look at running fat, whether you're on a fixed weight or a fixed time schedule. If you're on a very tight window, I think there are still some cases to be said that if you got to get the weight on, you got to get it on fat or fast. Fat is going to come into play and can be advantageous, but from a monetary standpoint, there isn't going to be a lot of benefit. As if prices were to bump up another $10, $15 on pigs, then there would be it would be a lot more advantageous to run that fat in a fixed time scenario. So that's why fat tends to be more of a seasonal product. We see, not to say it isn't used year round on finishing, but we see a lot more emphasis in the summer when the pigs are worth more, because those pigs on a fixed timeline, it's going to be a lot more beneficial to add it during that time. Fat can help improve the feed efficiency. It'll help improve average daily gain. In the summer months here, as we get some heat stress and pigs might be a little bit cozy in the barn before you take that first cut out, it does provide a more energy dense diet, so that the pigs are going to be more readily able to break down that food or the feed, so they're giving off less heat when they do so. So there's less heat stress that the pigs are exposed to when you can add that fat in there. So again, it's more dependent on what hog prices are and what our feed prices are when fat can come into play, and when it's advantageous to run that. Another tool you can use that's going to focus more just on average daily gain is running higher tryptophan levels. Tryptophan, it can be one of the limiting amino acids in diet. So if we bump that up a little bit and make it more readily available to the pig, we have seen a bump in feed, weight gain, average daily gain. So it's going to be more advantageous in that fixed time setting where you have a strict window that you have to market in. And again, right now, it's economically not going to pan out quite as well. But if in the typical summer months, we might see more advantage to running higher tryptophan levels. Another one that we see in a lot of finish rations is copper, whether you're using copper chloride or copper sulfate. That's one we see a lot, especially in that grower and early finish stage, up to around 150, 180 pounds. That one, again, is going to be primarily average daily gain that we're seeing the benefit on. That one is a much cheaper product to include in rations. So that's going to be more advantageous. The average daily gain is going to help you more on those fixed time scenarios. So copper can help in all situations, but it's going to have the most bang for the buck when you're on a strict schedule. The other place we can look at is looking at feed additives. So there's some different tools that you can look at adding. Obviously, Paline is no longer an option for us as that has been phased out. One tool you can look at is Skysis. There's a couple different levels that you can run that at. You're gonna see some benefit on average daily gain, some benefit on feed conversion, and depending on what level you run it at, can actually help with yield towards the end of marketing. But with Skysis, you have to be careful on what other medication you're running with that. So keep that in mind if you're looking at adding Skysis into your rations. The other two that can be used independently, I like to kind of pair them up to make a full program through the finish phase. Outpace, we've talked about that before. There's definitely some advantages to the pig's digestive system, keeping them a little bit healthier. So outpace not only helps the digestive system on the pig, but when we run it through that nursery phase, and then when we run it in that early grower up to, depending on the format you want to run, if you're running it up to around 150 pounds, you'll see about a 5% improvement in average daily gain and 4% improvement feed conversion. And that's over numerous trials. So it's, again, not going to be that necessarily every time, but that's kind of the average we've seen out there. So outpace is a good way to target that nursery and early grower to get some average daily gain benefit and feed conversion. The feed conversion is where it's going to be a better fit for both the fixed time and the fixed weight scenarios, because those pigs are going to more efficiently convert that feed, so it's going to reduce your feed cost per pig. Also, with the feed conversion, that helps even if hog prices are maybe not quite in our favor as we would like right now. So outpace is a good tool in early finish. But then as we get later into finish, as pigs are pushing 180 pounds, 200 pounds, another product that we come in with is Ambatine. We've done numerous field trials and proofs with producers and very regularly seen some benefit and boost from that. So again, that's late finish, about 180, 200 pounds on to market weight. We're going to see a benefit of about 4% on average daily gain and 3% on feed conversion. So it just kind of helps pigs. Again, that's going to help more digestively with the pigs, so it's going to help with some of that stress as there's more feeder competition. If we have any heat stress in the environment, it's just going to keep that pig feeling a little bit better, and at the same time, you're going to see a boost to average daily gain and feed conversion. The other thing I would like to stress with outpace, running that up until 120, 150 pounds, and then coming in with Ambatine after that, is these products are all natural, so they can be added with anything. There's no withdrawal. You don't have to worry about pairing it with any other products that might be in your rations. So they're a good tool. They're inexpensive. Outpace generally, as we look at that early grower stage, we're looking at 2 to 2.5 pounds per ton. Ambatine, we're looking at about 2 pounds per ton that we'll add in the late finishing. So yeah, those are kind of some tricks. Again, it's all going to depend on the market situation that we're facing, what kind of format you have in your barn. If you're fixed time, if you're on a set schedule, or if you're just selling everything at the same weight and you don't necessarily have a strict window you have to be out by, that's going to vary on how we approach what additives we might look at, whether we include fat in the ration, whether we look at using high tryptophan levels or adding copper into the ration. So it's not a one-size-fits-all. We do, if you're wondering about adding fat into your diet, reach out to us. We have a nice energy analysis calculator that helps us put in prices, and both the hog prices and the commodity prices going into the ration, so we can evaluate if that is an effective tool right now, and then we can look at setting it up seasonally if that's what would work in your system. So again, just a few tricks today on how we can boost average daily gain, feed conversion. They all tend to make sense a little bit more if we saw another $10 on that hog price, and but we can hope that's turning around here. So please reach out to myself, Dave Faber, Ed Hubley, if you have any questions, if you need some more information on outpace, ambatine, or any of the other strategies we talked about here today. So with that, I'll stay on here for a second, see if there are any comments or questions that anyone might have. All right, I'm not seeing anything come through here. So like I said, give me a shout if you have any questions. I appreciate your time today at Tuesday at 10, and hopefully we can stay a little bit cool here as we go through the rest of the week. Thank you so much.